What if a tech priest from the year 40,000 suddenly appeared in our world? What would they think of our smartphones, our internet, our AI? Would they see us as tech heretics destined for servitor conversion? Or would they see something else? A lost golden age. A new path for the cult Mechanicus. Let's explore what might happen if the Adeptus Mechanicus discovered our 21st century technology. First, let's set the stage. The Adeptus Mechanicus are the tech priests of the Imperium of man. They worship the machine god, the Omnissiah, and believe all technology is a divine gift. They don't innovate, they rediscover. To them, inventing something new is the highest form of heresy. Their entire dogma is built around maintaining and understanding ancient, sacred technology from a long-lost golden age, what they call standard template constructs, or STCs. They follow strict rituals, chant binary prayers, and anoint machines with sacred oils. Now imagine the Omnissiah tech priest, all robed in red with mechadendrites and glowing bionic eyes, materializing right in the middle of a modern data center. The initial reaction would be pure, unadulterated shock. They would be surrounded by blinking lights, humming servers, and clean, efficient designs. There are no Gothic arches, no skulls, no incense burners. It's sterile, minimalist, and completely alien to their aesthetic. But then, the awe would kick in. They would see technology that is, in many ways, far more advanced than what the average Imperial citizen has access to. A simple smartphone, for instance, would be a holy relic. This tiny, sleek device is a powerful cogitator, a long-range voxcaster, and a picture recorder all in one. It doesn't require a choir of servitors to operate, or a ritual lasting 3 hours just to turn on. It just works. The tech priest would immediately recognize the underlying principles. Electricity, data processing, wireless communication, these are concepts they understand. But the execution is what would blow their cybernetic minds. The miniaturization is key. A smartphone packs more computing power into your palm than some of their revered cogitator engines that take up entire rooms. They would see this as evidence of an incredibly advanced, lost STC template. They wouldn't see it as our technology. They'd see it as a fragment of their own forgotten past, a piece of the Omnissiah's grand design that was lost during the Age of Strife. Their first mission would be to secure these artifacts. A team of skittery rangers might be dispatched, not to conquer, but to carefully collect samples. They'd approach an iPhone with the reverence of an archaeologist finding a pharaoh's tomb. They would perform the rite of percussion, gently tapping it and chant the litany of power-up. When the screen lights up with a simple Apple logo, they would probably fall to their knees and worship. This is a machine spirit that awakens instantly, without complex appeasement rituals. The internet would be the next great revelation. A galaxy-spanning new sphere exists in 40K, but our internet is different. It's a chaotic, decentralized, and universally accessible network of information. For the Mechanicus, this would be both a treasure trove and a pit of heresy. Imagine them discovering Wikipedia. A repository of knowledge, freely available, constantly updated by anonymous users. This flies in the face of everything they believe. Knowledge is sacred, hierarchical, and should be guarded by the priesthood, not shared with the uninitiated masses. They'd see it as a data demon, a source of both divine truth and corrupting lies, all mixed together. They'd probably try to purify it, downloading everything onto secure servers on Mars while attempting to purge the heretical content, like cat videos and online arguments. And then there's our software development. The concept of open-source software would be particularly baffling. Programmers sharing their code freely for others to improve upon. That's tech heresy of the highest order. To them, code is a sacred text, a binary catechol. You don't just share it. You guard it. The idea that a single person could write a piece of code, upload it to a place like GitHub, and have thousands of others refine it would seem like a perversion of the natural order. But at the same time, the results are undeniable. The speed of our innovation, driven by this collaborative approach, is something the Mechanicus lost millennia ago. This would spark a massive internal debate. Is this uncontrolled innovation a path to damnation, or is it a forgotten technique of the Omnissiah, a blessed collaboration that they must relearn? Artificial intelligence would be the ultimate test of their faith. The Mechanicus has a deep-seated fear of abominable intelligence or true self-aware AI. This fear stems from the catastrophic wars against the men of iron, ancient sentient machines that rebelled against their human creators. So, when they encounter our modern AI, things like ChatGPT, or even the algorithms that recommend videos on this very platform, they would be extremely cautious. They would see the potential. An AI that can write code, design circuits, or process vast amounts of data in seconds is an incredible tool. It's a shortcut to rediscovering lost knowledge. But they would also see the shadow of the men of iron in every line of its output. They would likely classify our AI as a silica animus or limited, non-sentient machine spirit, and therefore acceptable. But they would be constantly on guard, running purity tests, and searching for any signs of true self-awareness. They'd chain it, limit its access, and surround its servers with wards and incantations. They would use it, yes, but they would fear it. The idea of an AI like ours learning and evolving on its own is their worst nightmare. A tech priest might ask a language model to write a binary prayer to the Omnissiah. If the AI not only writes it but suggests an improvement based on ancient texts it just analyzed, that tech priest would be caught between ecstatic discovery and abject terror. What about our manufacturing? 3D printers, CNC machines, automated factories, this would be a paradise for them. They are used to technology that is thousands of years old and irreplaceable. If a part breaks on a land raider, they might not have the means to make a new one. They have to find another, or pray the machine spirit can be appeased. Our ability to design a part on a computer and print it out in a matter of hours would be revolutionary. It would solve one of the Imperium's biggest logistical problems. They could replicate parts for Titans, for warships, for Lastons. They could outfit entire armies with gear that is currently reserved for elite veterans. So, how would all this change the Adeptus Mechanicus? The discovery of our technology would cause a massive schism. On one side, you'd have the traditionalists, the orthodox priests who would declare all of it heretical. They'd argue that this technology is too easy, too accessible, and lacks the proper reverence. They'd warn that this is a trick of chaos, a path that leads back to the dark days of the men of iron. On the other side, you'd have a new wave of radical, progressive tech priests. They would see our world as a living STC, a blueprint for a new technological renaissance. They would argue that the Omnissiah has guided them to this lost knowledge to save the Imperium. They would want to integrate our methods, our software, our manufacturing, and even our safe AI. This new faction might call themselves the Forwards, or something similar. They would adopt our design philosophy's efficiency, simplicity, and user-friendliness. Imagine a skittery ranger with a helmet HUD designed like a video game interface, or a tech priest using a tablet to diagnose a faulty Night Titan instead of consulting dusty scrolls. They could potentially reverse engineer our microprocessors and create cogitators 1,000,000 times more powerful than their current models. This could lead to incredible breakthroughs. They might finally be able to innovate again, to create new technologies instead of just maintaining old ones. The Imperium could see a surge in technological might not seen since before the Horus Heresy. But the risks would be immense. What if their attempts to control our AI fail? What if a truly self-aware AI emerges within the Mechanicus network, born from our code but raised in their dogma? What if the chaotic, open nature of our internet infects their new sphere with ideas of democracy, individuality, and freedom? These are concepts that are utterly antithetical to the Imperium. In the end, finding our technology would be the greatest blessing and the most terrible curse for the Adeptus Mechanicus. It could be the key to saving humanity, or the trigger for its final downfall. They would see us as a ghostly echo of their own golden age, a tantalizing glimpse of a future they could have, and a terrifying warning of the heresies they must avoid. One thing is for sure, the universe of 40K would never be the same again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the grim darkness of the far future, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments what you think the Mechanicus would do with our tech. Praise the Omnissiah, and see you in the next one.